Hey, welcome. My name is Florence Achama, Courage and Confidence Coach for Women of Faith. Welcome to my page. If you are here for the first time, welcome. I help women of faith, Christian women who want to overcome fears, doubts, negative beliefs, uncertainty, insecurity, anxiety, so that they can start to manifest the kind of results and life that they desire. And I'm excited to share some of these insights with you over the next couple of weeks. Hey Heather, thanks for watching. So I'm excited, as I said, I'm excited to share this stuff with you. I've been thinking a lot about the nature of fear, worry and anxiety. One of the reasons why is because this is my first live since getting married, and leading up to that there was a lot of fears, worries, anxieties that came up for me, and it gave me an opportunity to really reflect on the nature of worry, anxiety, uncertainty, doubt, all that stuff that comes out when we're taking a big step into the unknown. A lot of the time when we're doing that, especially something like getting married, we've got terms for it, like, cold feet and things like that, but people don't really talk about that. They kind of leave it alone. It's a taboo subject. So I want to go into, over the next couple of weeks, I want to talk about some of the lessons that I learned experiencing all of those feelings that came up for me. And at the end of the next 2 weeks, I am running a challenge that I'm really excited about. It's called the Manifestation Mindset Challenge. And this challenge is all about helping you to develop the mindset that means that you no longer have to allow fear, doubt, insecurity, uncertainty to stop you from taking those bold, courageous, confident steps that will enable you to create the results that you desire and live the life that you want to live. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to drop the link for the challenge in the description and the comments. And if you are watching this on replay, or you're watching this maybe I put it up on YouTube or on my blog or anywhere else, then I would love for you to connect with me, and I would love for you to join the challenge, especially if this speaks to you. So without much further ado, the topic of today is about the two ways of being that I have found and I have seen creates a lot more anxiety and uncertainty. Sometimes you can see that there are some people who seem to suffer from anxiety, doubt, uncertainty more than others. And for some people, it's like water off a duck's back. They can step into these scary situations and it's like nothing to them. And thinking about that, reflecting on that, I've come to a couple of conclusions in relation to what makes the two types of people different. And those two ways of being are being in your head a lot and being in your feelings a lot. So when I talk about being in your head, I'm really talking about somebody who is a thinker. They overthink. They think about what's going to happen in the future, so they're always forwards or future projecting. They're thinking about worst case scenarios. They're constantly analysing and evaluating situations. They're basically monitoring risk. They're looking at what problems might come up and trying to anticipate solutions for the problems. And that we can see how that can easily create anxiety. Moving on from that is really about being in your feelings. If you've experienced anxiety before, then you know that it causes sensations inside of your body. Anxiety isn't just an emotion, it's also a bodily experience. So when you are overthinking, it stimulates your body. If you know much about biology, then you will know that lots of chemicals are released based on whether you're having positive thoughts or negative thoughts. And when we are overthinking, then our body generates adrenaline, and that can speed up our heart and do all kinds of things. And one thing that I've noticed, especially working with the kind of clients that I do, is they pay a lot of attention to what goes on in their head, so what they're thinking, and they evaluate their thoughts. They're constantly examining and thinking about, what do my thoughts mean? And not just that, they examine their feelings. So what is this feeling that I'm feeling inside of me? What does it mean? And if you think about doing that a lot of the time, obviously that's going to generate anxiety. It's going to generate worry, doubt, uncertainty, etc., etc. So the two ways of being that I found stimulate those anxious feelings are being in your head a lot and being in your body a lot. But I say that, and I don't want you to think that it's a negative thing, because I think so often we can look at those things that stimulate anxiety and worry as negative ways of being. Yeah, anxious about my anxiety. Yes, that's something in psychology that is called metacognition. Basically, it's thinking about the way that you're thinking, or thinking about your thinking. And often people who are anxious, they become anxious about the feeling of being anxious, and so it's not a great place to be. But even though I say that, I just want to put a proviso on it, because it's not the problem isn't that you are a thinker or a feeler. I don't want you to think that people who think or people who feel deeply, there's something wrong with them, because that's not the case at all. If I think about my top 5 Gallup strengths, I don't know if you've heard about the Gallup Strengths Finder, but it's a great assessment. If you've never done it, that's my plug, even though I'm not an affiliate or anything related to that. But it's a great way to understand some of your strengths. And if I think about my top 5 strengths, most of them are related to thinking and feeling. For example, my top strength, ideation, enables me to be visionary. I think outside the box. I think in ways that other people might not think, because I'm looking for different solutions all the time. So that's an example of being a thinker or an overthinker. For some people, they may not do those things, but that's a benefit of being an overthinker. Another example is a top 5 strength of mine is being strategic. Again, that's about seeing the solutions to problems that people might overlook. If I think about it from the feeling perspective, one of my top 5 strengths is being empathetic. So I can feel other people's emotions. So as I was saying, to be a thinker or a feeler isn't a bad thing. If you are a thinker or a feeler, you're probably seeing the benefit of that in different areas of your life. However, when it comes to facing challenges or stepping out of your comfort zone, then it can become an issue if you don't know how to manage it and handle it properly, which is the real problem, and not the fact that you are a thinker or a feeler. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how to manage your ability to think in a more creative and wider way than other people might think, and your ability to feel more deeply than other people might feel. Because when you look at it from that perspective, it's a really positive thing. Wow, I can think more widely and more creatively than many other people can, or I can think more deeply and I can connect with other people's emotions and my own emotions in a way that other people might not, may struggle to connect with emotions. So that's one thing to do. Reframe how you look at yourself. Thinking deeply, feeling deeply isn't a negative thing. It's really about how to manage it. So what are 2 ways that I've found help me to manage this? Well, one of the key ways is being aware. I think awareness is so powerful. When you're doing any kind of healing course or recovery course, they always say that awareness is the first step of healing, and it's so true. If you don't know that overthinking or overfeeling can cause you to be more anxious, can be the root of you feeling uncertain or doubting or insecure, then when you are feeling all those things, then you can easily get caught up in the feeling of anxiety, or in the evaluation of anxiety or worry or doubt or fear or whatever it is. But as soon as you recognize, actually, this is what my brain does or my mind does or my body does, when I'm starting to move into overthinking or overfeeling, then you can start to put a halt to it and say, okay, probably 80% of what's going on here is just noise, and I don't need to pay attention to that noise, because probably 80% is just my mind thinking more creatively, and 80% of the stuff isn't going to happen. It's unrealistic. I'm not going to have to ever deal with this or worry about it. So that kind of gives us some perspective. It gives us some distance from the feeling and the thought of being anxious or fearful or whatever it is. And that ties into the second point. The second point is about distance. And I spoke about metacognition, the idea of thinking about our thinking. And it's important because I said when you think deeply or when you overthink, you tend to be inside of your head. You tend to be living inside the thoughts that you're having. And what we really need to do, instead of being inside of our heads, is take a step out. Be outside of our thinking, be above our thinking, and begin to look at it from a more rational and distant perspective. This is when you can practice your empathy skills, if you are empathetic, or your skills of being able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes who is looking at your situation. Because you might be so involved in what's going on that you can't see it from a rational or a balanced perspective. But if you were to take yourself outside of your own thinking, and if you can go above that, that's great. But if you can't, then think about somebody else. Think about and actually name that person who you think would give you a more balanced view. So if it's your sister, brother, partner, whatever it is, think about how they would think about your situation and try to put yourself inside of their mind instead of being inside of your mind. If you want to take it a step further, try to, and this might sound a little bit strange, but try to put yourself into the mind of Christ, the mind of God. Think about how God would view this situation, this challenge. What would he have to say if you were thinking about this situation from his perspective? If you were thinking about it from being inside of his mind, how would he view the situation? The idea behind all of this, as I said, is to create distance, for you to step out of your own thoughts so that you can look at it from a different perspective. I would love to know your thoughts about what I've shared with you today. And as I've said, over the next couple of weeks leading up to the Manifestation Mindset Challenge, I will be sharing insights, lessons, tips, tools to help you to overcome fears, uncertainties, worries, doubt, insecurities, and step more into courage, confidence, and boldness to create the kind of life and the results that you desire. But if there's something that's particularly blessed you today, something that's intrigued you, something that's made you stop and think and, just wonder more about it, then let me know. Leave a comment, PM me if you don't want to leave a comment, if it's a bit more personal, but let me know. Let's connect. And as I said, I will leave a link to the challenge in the comments or description. I would love for you to join. It starts on the 9th of September, and I'm excited to share how to get the mindset to help you manifest the results and the life you desire when you can move past fear and anxiety, worry, doubt, and just step into courage and confidence. So unless you have any questions for me, then I'm going to be going, but watch out for my posts later on this week. Take care. Bye.